told me that visiting hours are over. He needs to see you, Harper. He needs to see you now." I sighed. "Mom, you've always hated what I do. You've always nagged at me about representing criminals. Now do you see why everybody needs defending? Now do you understand?" I could hear her crying hysterically on the phone. "Just get down here," she said. "Get down here as soon as you can." I felt like I was being pulled in 20 different directions, none of them good. I had my mother crying hysterically, my girls looking at me like I had grown another head, my car keys were missing, and my beloved Uncle Jack was behind bars, waiting for his arraignment on a murder charge. I closed my eyes, willing myself to concentrate. Just concentrate. Just think about something, focus on it, and let my brain calm itself. I stared at my umbrella stand and then closed my eyes again. Focus, focus, focus. I snapped my fingers and ran into my room, where I found my car keys sitting on my dresser. I kissed them and ran back downstairs. Sophia was waiting for me with a smile on her face. "Thanks, Sophia. You're a doll," I said. "You know the drill. Rena will be upstairs playing video games online with her friends. Abby will be in her room reading a book, I think. Just make sure that it's lights out at 11. I'm really sorry for the late notice, but—" Tears came to my eyes, and I shook my head. "What's wrong, Harper?" Sophia asked me as she put her arm around my shoulders. I shook my head some more as I thought about my Uncle Jack. He was 3 years older than my mother, and he and Patrick were her only brothers. Since Patrick had moved to Florida, however, Jack was her only close relative, and my mom and Jack were very close. He was also very close with me. He used to take me camping in the Smoky Mountains, and I would always get to go to the beach with him in South Carolina. My family never had a ton of money, and Uncle Jack was reasonably wealthy, so the only times that I got to go on vacation was when I went with him and his family. "Nothing," I said. "I just need to see about a new case I picked up. I know that it's kind of late on a Friday night, but I need to see my new client. Thanks again for coming on such short notice." She nodded her head, looking at me worriedly. "I'm always here when you need me," she said. "You know I have no life." She smiled. I nodded back, unable to speak. I was afraid that if I opened up my mouth and said something, that anything that came out would be an unintelligible mess. "Love you," I said, taking my jacket and walking out the door. To my dismay, I felt the rain pelting down on my shoulders the second I walked off my covered porch. I immediately went back in and grabbed an umbrella and hurried to my driveway to get into my car. As I drove along, the sounds of my windshield wipers gave me a certain degree of comfort. There was something about the steady rhythm of the wipers that calmed me considerably. Even though I was about to be in the middle of an absolute horror, I knew that no matter what, if I kept my wits about me, I could help Uncle Jack beat this. I could. I knew that. I could feel it. I had won impossible cases before. Not that Uncle Jack's case was impossible exactly, but even if the facts were bad, I could find a way around it. I could. I had to. That was the only answer. I had to figure this out. No matter the facts, I had to figure it out. I saw on my console that my brother Brad was calling. "Hey, Brad," I said, answering. "I'm on my way." "Good. How's Mom?" "How do you think?" he said. "She's hysterical. She's been crying since she found out about Uncle Jack being arrested. She found out that he had been arrested about a half hour ago when he called her from jail. I guess she was his one phone call." I groaned. Why didn't he call me first? Why call Mom? I don't get that. He should have called me from the station. If he confessed to something without getting counsel, then I'm going to have to kill him myself. I shook my head. That was one thing that didn't make sense. He knew I was an attorney. I should have been the first person he called. "Preaching to the choir, sis," Brad said. "That's what I told Mom. I asked her why Jack called her before he called you, and she just said that she had no idea why." I gripped the wheel as I sped down Main Street towards downtown. Friday night was a night for partygoers, especially in the Westport district of town, which was right on my way to the county.